Let's talk 10 defensive players the Vikings should watch at the Combine. All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus. Combine on the cusp of happening. We're going to talk about 10 guys that hopefully the Vikings have their peepers on come Combine.
10 guys on defense, defensive line, I believe, gets things kicked off and started tomorrow. They're already down there getting poked, prodded, measured, massaged, touched. I might need to take a cold shower after this one.
Yeah, before
we talk about these combine, these defensive prospects the Vikings can look at, grab yourself an icy cold lift bridge, and as you're drinking that thing, why don't you smash that subscribe button and like the videos? We are so close to 8,900 subscribers, I can almost smell it.
Smells delicious. And these 10 guys aren't so much like, not like first round. I mean, this is just kind of spread out throughout the whole draft. We've got a wide variety of guys. Let us know in the comments some guys that you were looking at, especially for the Minnesota Vikings. And also join us live tonight, 7 o'clock.
Yeah. And don't forget,
drinking beers.
Drop hashtag LiftBridge, hashtag badass. We're doing drawings here probably within the next week for the month of February.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom.
Who's your first guy?
Who is my first guy? I believe it is. Why don't you put it up so I know? It's the Marvion Overshown, the linebacker from Texas. A guy I feel like we haven't talked enough about. To me, he is. If you don't get Trenton Simpson early, you look at Overshown maybe late round 3, round 4. It's kind of where he's coming off the boards. He is an athletic freak. He should destroy the combine every drill. He should look very, very good. So I'm expecting him to be a stock up after this thing because he's super athletic. So a guy you can do a lot of things with. I think he'd fit very well in Brian Flores' system. The Marvion Overshown, linebacker, Texas. Get to know him because you may be hearing a lot about him in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, his stock's already up. He was a guy that was like they were looking at as mid to late round guy. And over the last couple of months, as we always see it, these guys are also shooting up the chart. And like you said, it's because of his athletic ability. And really, he's one of the guys I look forward to watching. What I like about him is everybody says he's not a nice tackler. He basically beats the shit out of you, and he's fast. And we need linebacker help. You know what's crazy? Texas didn't have a single player drafted last year. That blows my mind.
Yeah, I remember hearing that. They'll have some this year.
They will. They'll have a bunch. And you know what? I would love everything about him. Him next to Asamoah. Maybe just, I don't know, filling out the depth chart. Future stud linebacker. But anyways, check him out. One guy that, I'm forcing myself to watch. I'm forcing myself to get excited about. And it's Deonte freaking Banks. I mean, he's got to be on the list. He's in Vikings have him in every mock draft lately, and I don't like it. So I'm going to get myself pumped up. The good news is Banks is the type of guy that should raise some eyebrows at the combine. He's gonna do well there. But man, 6'2", 205. And the reason I don't like him is, he's got good size. He's good in press man. He's smart. He's not fast, overly fast, and he's not a ball hawk. I greedily want like Forbes. You look at him; he had 6 interceptions this year. I want a guy that's going to make some freaking plays, and Banks will probably end up being fantastic, proving that I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, I watched some tape on him last night, and I wasn't super impressed. I get why he's ranked high.
He's good.
Super sticky in coverage, but you don't see the big plays there. And some of the highlights where he wasn't even really doing much. And I'm like, oh, that's on his highlight tape. But you brought it up before. It's the fact that he missed, the majority of last season with an injury. Can the Vikings really use a first-round pick on a guy with an injury history after not having, any production from their first 2 picks last year because of injuries?
It was 2 years ago, I think.
I thought it was his junior season because he hadn't done much either. You look at the production; there's nothing there really until last year. So he's kind of a one-hit wonder guy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want the Vikings to take him at 23. If you look at this guy, I'd rather trade down a little bit. I don't want to use my first-round pick on a guy with some injury history.
Yeah,
I mean, in the secondary too. I mean, that's just
my big issue is that they're saying that he's just the perfect fit for Brian Flores' defense. In my mind, that screams you're reaching on a player that might play right away, but the value isn't there. And even when we had Joe D on, even when you look at some of these other rankings, they always have him as a second, third round guy. If we had a second round pick and we got him, we'd be like, sweet,
yeah,
it's pretty decent value. I don't want him anywhere near pick 23.
No, there's somebody else who I think is a perfect fit for Brian Flores' defense. It's Brian Branch, but we're not going to talk about him right now.
Oh, there you go. I thought this was a great segue.
No, it wasn't. Simpson. I'm going back to linebacker. Again, if Trenton Simpson doesn't destroy this combine, this is more like the bar set so high for him. If he falls below it, I think he's just going to shoot down boards because there's always the question, where are you going to use this guy? What are you going to do with him? If you have a specific scheme and a specific role you want him to fill in, that might be an issue with Trenton Simpson.
Say specific again.
I couldn't say it once. I'm not going to try it again. Specific.
Wow, you nailed it.
But Trenton Simpson's actually a perfect fit for Brian Flores. You can do so many things with this guy. You can play him as safety. You can play him up in the line. You can play inside, play outside. You can rush him. I think he is an ideal fit. And if he does not destroy this combine because he is a freak athlete, it'll be a major disappointment. So I think on him, there's more pressure on him than a lot of these guys because everybody's expecting him to perform very, very well in the drills this weekend.
You think he feels pressure? Look at this. He's a man that wears a bow tie and gives two shits what you think. He eats pressure and he craps it out while he's wearing that bow tie. And you nailed it, Simpson. The guy can go anywhere, and wherever they go, they're going to do whatever the hell they want with him because he's that damn good. Yeah. So I've securely hopped on the Trenton Simpson bandwagon the last couple of weeks. I'm all for it. I would be surprised if he's the Vikings pick, but I would also be, I'd be all for it.
Well, I think he could shoot up in the top 15 because of his workout, or if it doesn't meet standards, then he could fall, well into the second round.
All right, let's keep going. Spoiler alert. We got the next two here. So I'm going D Winters. I'm going linebacker. And D Winters, big knock is his size. He's 5'11", 228. This is a guy that's not going to be in the first couple rounds. He's going to be at the back end of the draft. Special teamer, former converted safety, leader. He is a big-time leader. Very high character. Started inside, started outside, and he's very good in pass coverage. So throw this guy out there on third down. Wham, bam. Thank you, Matt. Very good instincts. D Winters, TCU. And think about it. We got Asamoah. Ideally, we're taking a linebacker before him or in free agency. We don't have shit for depth. Troy Dye isn't depth. We need depth. We need a guy in the waiting in the wings. And people bitching about his size. You know what else was 5'11"? Ed freaking McDaniel, baby.
Yeah, I don't worry about that too much when it comes to the linebacker. D Winter is a guy I'm not familiar with, so he's now on my radar. I'll check him out. I love the fact we have 3 linebackers on this already. Definitely a position the Vikings have to upgrade, and they will upgrade. And yeah, you already tipped the hand here what I'm going to go with next, but it's Siaki Ika. Defensive tackle, Baylor. And what I want to see from him at the combine is how does this guy move? You watch him on tape.
Whoa.
Not super explosive, but he gets up there and he eats up blockers. What's his 10-yard shuttle going to be like? You know he's going to destroy the bench. He'll probably put up 56 reps of 225, no problem. But how is he going to move? How is he going to run? Is he going to look slow? Is he going to show explosiveness? Can he have a Jordan Davis-esque workout that's going to shoot him up boards? I'm really, really concerned with his get-off. And I get the fact what he can do. He can get there. He can anchor. He can eat up guys and free up the linebackers. But there was no interior pressure at all watching him. So that's what concerns me. I want to see how he moves.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely on the Vikings radar. I mean, some of these guys we've mentioned, like Banks, like this, I mean, these could be options where they move down in the top of round 2 or at the end of round 1. So all these guys are on the table. I've said it before. When it comes to the big men, especially a big man like him, get a guy in like round 5. Get that big space. I mean, we got Tonga. I don't think he's the next coming of Pat Williams by any means. But I don't know. I just hate wasting an early pick on these big boys. I'm a loser.
Okay. All right. Thanks for sharing that.
Number 5. Dante freaking Stills, defensive line. His last name sounds familiar. It is the brother of Darius Stills, who is in the USFL now. Also went to West Virginia. 6'4", 280, undersized. So coming to the NFL, he might have some issues. He's going to be a situational pass rusher. Dude had 24.5 sacks in his time at West Virginia. And I just like him the fact of maybe he's out there on third downs. We need some guys who can get after the quarterback. We need like James Lynch was my hope that he was going to be that guy that gets you 7 to 9 sacks, just throwing him out there on situations, not starting. Maybe Stills is the guy because we need some defensive line help. And I think Flores would have a little bit of fun with him.
Yeah, I've seen Dante Still's name, and I'm like, wasn't he in the draft last year? Didn't he pull out late? But maybe it's just Darius I was thinking of. Yeah, I love what you said about it. The 24.5 was that career sacks?
I wish it was in a game, but yes, it is career.
Yeah, well then Flores, he can put him inside, he can put him outside, he may put him out wide. I mean, he could use a guy like this all over the place. So Dante Stills, definitely a guy I've been very intrigued with every time his name comes up, and I keep forgetting to go back and look at him, but I'm gonna have to do that now.
When you watch him, I know he's undersized, but the dude fly. I mean, he gets his ass in that backfield in a jiffy. I mean, he is quick.
Great peanut butter.
It's the only peanut butter.
I think it's actually Jif.
You eat Peter Pan or what's another type of peanut
Skippy.
butter?
I eat Skippy.
Skippy. That's like eating ass.
Delicious ass.
All right, what do you got? Who's your next?
I don't know.
I got it. I got you.
Corey Trice, the cornerback from Purdue. Now, this is a guy, probably a day 3 guy. What I'm curious with Corey is how he runs. He's 6'3". I think he's well over 200 pounds. You watch him on tape, it looks like he can fly. And I really want to know how fast he is, because I think that might be deceiving. I can't imagine a guy who's that big looks as fast as he is. But for being a bigger cornerback, he's got some ball skills. He can come up and hit. But it's that speed I want to see. I want to see how he times, because God, he just looks so damn fast on tape, and I want to actually put a number to that.
Yeah, I love this guy. I remember looking at him a couple of weeks ago, and then when I saw him on your list, I took another. It's lame, and this is why I'd be the worst NFL draft guru ever. But when you watch him, it just looks like he's good at football. It looks like he does everything great. I mean, even lays a hit. I mean, he's got good ball skills, and he's got the big size. So I'll be curious to see where this guy actually comes off the board. I'm falling in love with him.
Yeah, I love Corey Trice.
He's good at football.
Great at football.
Great football player. All right, next up, cornerback back-to-back. Rajon Wright, Oregon State. Another guy with some big old size, 6'2". Here's the thing with him, development. I mean, he's going to be, again, he's kind of see him anywhere from like 3rd to 5th round, but he's not a cornerback that we're taking in round 3 in hopes of him starting year 1. I highly doubt that, but he's competitive. He's got good size. Everything is just his ceiling. How high can his ceiling be? Outside corner. I have a note here that just says raw dogger, which also means that he is just raw. And also,
you could have written that down anyway.
he shut down Jordan Addison. He shut his ass down when they played USC. So he's good. I'm not just trying to base. I mean, maybe a 4th, 5th corner as a rookie.
First I heard of him, so I'll definitely have to take a peek. But how big did you say he was?
6 deuce.
Not bad.
Again, when you're watching him, I mean, you could see that size. Everything you read on these taller corners is like some of these ones, even Trice is just like they use their size of advantage, but they're super stiff. Yeah. Super stiff.
Stiff raw dogger.
Raw dogger. Good.
I know who my last one is. It's Calijah Kancey, defensive tackle from Pitt. I was on Instagram the other day, and Vikes Insider, I don't know if you guys follow that or not, but he did a mock, and he had this Calijah Kancey. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And he also had like highlights during his mock, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy is kind of amazing. And then Kuiper had him going, I think, 31 of the Chiefs. So Calijah Kancey, he's just 6'0", 275 pounds, so he's nice, thick build, but he can create interior pressure. He can stuff the run. He's kind of like what I wanted Siaki to be when he jumps out on film. So I'm curious if he can have a good combine. I feel like he's getting some momentum right now going forward. If he has a great combine, he could definitely shoot up to where I think he's almost a slam dunk option for the Vikings at 23. So get to know Calijah Kancey. Watch his highlights. You will be very, very excited. I think there's a lot you can do with this guy, whether you rush him out the middle, put him outside at end. Versatile here. I'm actually very excited about this Pittsburgh defensive lineman.
I've seen him linked to the Vikings a few times as a player that they should definitely have their eyes on. And I'm glad you put him on the list because I looked a lot more into him, which got me a little more excited. Defensive tackles, like, not huge on, and this is going to take some warming up, but he's good. I mean, his big thing is he's just kind of smaller too, kind of like Stills, but he ripped shit up at Pitt. I can't remember how many sacks he had, 14 or so in the last 2 years.
Last 2 years, yep.
So, no, he's a name that we should definitely be familiar with. He'll be a guy that is going to probably go in round 1.
Yeah, and he had 27.5 tackles for a loss the last 2 years.
Damn! All right, can you guess who my number 1 is?
I'm gonna say it's a corner. Oh, it's our boy, Caleb Murphy.
Caleb frickin' Murphy. Do we even have to say anything? I mean, we love Caleb Murphy. Go watch the interview if you haven't. Murphy does not get any love. Every profile I read is like, yeah, he had 25 and a half sacks. He had 40-something, whatever, career sacks. The dude absolutely lit up D2, but it's D2, blah, 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 wah. And come combine time, man, I'm gonna be his biggest fan. I want him to just rip everything up. He's undersized. He needs to beef up. But if he can go out there and show some athletic ability, show some things, get on the radar of some people. We've seen D2 guys come in the NFL and be very, very good. Matt Judon, I mean, there's a ton of them. And I hope Caleb Murphy's the next one.
Well, not only is he going to wall in the field, he's going to wall when they interview this kid. Talk about having your shit together, understanding what your whole purpose is in this draft process. Caleb Murphy gets it. He absolutely gets it. He is going to wall the pants off guys when they sit down and talk with them. I don't mean to throw Joe under the bus, but even him, this guy who knows everything about draft prospects. We mentioned before we did that show with him that he didn't know Caleb Murphy. He didn't register right away. I think he finally figured it out. But this guy deserves to be, when you say his name, you should think 24 and a half sacks, Fair State.
That's 25, sir.
I always say one less. I don't know why. But he deserves that kind of recognition. And again, I think he is just going to, just really impress a lot of people with the way he carries himself and how he meets with these teams.
Yeah, they might want to hire him as a coach. They might just hire him on the spot.
Yeah.
Caleb Murphy. Those are 10. Let us know anybody that we should be looking at or anybody get somebody on their radar. Can't wait. Combine time. One of the best times of the year.
Yeah, tomorrow we should start getting some results posted. Cannot wait for that. And also remember this, guys. In 2001, a Florida man wrestled a shark out of the water to recover his nephew's arm that had been bitten off. Doctors managed to successfully reattach it to the nephew.